Uh, I only started recording this when I already loaded, but whatever. I mean, this is what it loaded into, and it was also voice acted, but whatever.
初めは憎たらしいとか思ったけど、よく見ると可愛いな、お前。
At first I thought you were just awful, but now that I get a look at you, you are cute, aren't you?
やめてよ。そんな。
Huh? Imagine saying that to somebody. When I first looked at you, I thought you looked awful. But now that I look at you a little more, now I think you're cute. Anyway, apparently that's how she reacts to that. It seems like a positive reaction. Oddly.
いや、だって、あまりにも可愛いからさ。
But really, you were just too
ど
cute.
うしちゃったのよ、いきなり。
What's with you all of a sudden?
思わず、スリスリしちゃうぞ。
I can't help myself. I just want to snuggle up to you.
やだ。何よ、なんでそんなこと。
Stop it. Why are you doing this in an oddly high-pitched voice for this voice actor?
ふむ、やっぱりモフモフなんだな、このぬいぐるみ。
Oh yeah, this stuffed animal here is just so fun to squeeze.
え
He's describing the suit, okay? The air is tense. Whack. Unable to breathe, he collapses on the spot. I triumphantly point at him with my index
た
finger.
けしのバカ
Okay, Takeshi's a baka. I shout loudly. So they don't make it so that Tsugumi drags Takeshi into the cabin and then beats him up in the cabin. They abbreviated it a bit. I think the original they actually made it so that Takeshi's talking about Chami. So the words have changed. Sara. Mom screams, spins around, and with her tail swaying vigorously disappears into the ship's interior.
おい、つぐみ、どうしたんだよ。
Hey, Tsugumi, what's wrong? Dad runs after Mom. Tremendous noise echoes. I look to see Mom rampaging inside the ship, swinging around a costume headpiece. To avoid the sunlight, Mom had been wearing a lemur costume. Dad is desperately trying to calm her down. My big brother and I exchange glances and giggle. But is it okay to be this happy?
ねえ、お兄ちゃん。私たち、これからどうなっちゃうのかな。
Hey, Oni-chan, what's going to happen to us from now on?
どうなっちゃうって？
What do you mean what's going to happen?
ライプリヒに。
Did she say Leiblich and it's not there? Anyway, are we
また、ライプリヒに捕まっちゃうんじゃ。
going to be captured by Leiblich again?
大丈夫よ、サラ。心配しないで。
Of course, the again would be a change. Well, not for Sarah. No, that's fine. I don't know why I brain farted. Of course, they got caught by Leiblich in both of the versions. They just did different things for them. Okay. Don't worry, Sarah. Don't worry. Okay. So a voice comes from behind us. I turn around to see.
あ、ナッキョ先輩じゃなかった。
Oh, not you, senpai. Wait, no, you're old, slightly older, but in life experience, much older, not you, senpai.
田中先生、優美生はるかなさんでしたよね。
Tanaka Sensei. Yubei say Haru Kana-san. Right. She didn't say. Okay, I gotta go to the next line. She said Haru, didn't she? Tanaka Sensei nods quietly. Yeah, let's go. Insert. Read this line again.
田中先生、優美生はるかなさんでしたよね。
Yubei say Harukan desu nayo ne. Not, so the line is wrong. It translated it wrong. She said Yubei say Harukana. Okay. Good thing the voice acting's still in here. Tanaka-sensei nods quietly.
大丈夫ってどういうことなの？
What do you mean, don't worry? Oni-chan asked Dr. Tanaka. I was going to say Dr. Tanaka because that's what it says, but it's Tanaka-sensei. Which, I guess that's what they call the PhD owners. I don't know how the terminology works in Japan. Yeah, because how do you distinguish the professors from just, like, the teachers? Well.
こういうことよ。
Take a look at this. Tanaka-sensei. Oh, okay, so I was going to say Dr. Tanaka, but then I said Dr. Sensei anyway. Dr. Sensei. Tanaka-sensei anyway. Dr. Tanaka says softly, handing my brother a newspaper she had in her pocket. Oni-chan unfolds the newspaper. I lean in to look at the front page article. Lambic Pharmaceuticals involved in Tiefblau virus outbreak. Forced investigation expected soon. Tiefblau virus, which ravaged the world a few years beginning 2017, was recently revealed to have leaked from a research facility of Lambic Pharmaceuticals, a Japanese-German joint venture based in Frankfurt. This information was obtained from a whistleblower within the company. In connection with the incident, the Tokyo Metropolitan Police have decided to launch a forced investigation into Lambic Pharmaceuticals' domestic branches and related research facilities within the next couple of days. Lambic Pharmaceuticals has been conducting research and development on the TB virus with the aim of creating biological weapons. Around May 1st, 2017, the virus leaked within the research facility in question. Not only did the company conceal the accident, it also continued TB research without obtaining approval from the Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare. Location of the research facility remains undisclosed. The company is also suspected of other violations, such as abducting and detaining ordinary citizens through illegal procedures, conducting human experiments. Tokyo Metropolitan Police have requested cooperation from investigative agencies in Germany, where Lambic Pharmaceuticals headquarters is located.
ダイプリヒ製薬の影響力は国家権力にまで深く浸透してるから、まあいろいろと根回しは大変だったんだけど。
Lambic Pharmaceuticals' influence reaches deep into the state power. It was really difficult to cover all the groundwork.
マスコミの情報の載せ替えかく乱なんかもしてね。
We even had to manipulate and disrupt information released to the media. Tanaka-sensei scratches her head with the tip of an old pen.
じゃあここに書いてある内部告発をした人っていうのは。
So the whistleblower mentioned here.
そう、私。
Correct. I.
本当はマスコミや警察にリークしたのはだいぶ前なんだけどね。
I actually leaked the information to the media and the police a while ago. Which is probably like a lot of work to get them to actually publish it.
でも裏でこそこそっと取引みたいなことをして。
But I made some behind the scenes deals.
今日5月7日になるまでは絶対に何があっても動かないでってそう言っといたの。
I told them no matter what happens, don't take any action until May 7th.
パパとココちゃんっていう女の子を助けるために
To save Papa and that girl Coco-chan?
そういうこと。
That's right.
じゃあ
So then...
もう私たち追いかけられずに済むんだ。自由になったんだ。
We don't have to be on the run anymore. We're free now. Well... That's
だ
right.
からもう何も心配しなくてもいいのよ。
There's nothing to worry about, okay? If you say so.
あ、そうそう。サラの体に埋められていた発信機ね。サラが寝てた時、空に頼んで摘出してあるから安心してね。
Oh, by the way, about the transmitter that was implanted in your body. Sorry, I had Sora remove it while you were sleeping, so please take it easy. I would not be a fan of that if I were Sora. Because... my perception of things is if you do procedures while I'm sleeping, it creates a consent issue. It creates like a respect issue. Also kind of a consent issue, more it looks like a respect and autonomy issue. This may be gross. I'm going to say something really gross, but it's like to kind of get my point across. if you're going to do a surgery that's going to be a really long duration and they know they're going to have to put a catheter in, I really despise that sometimes they don't put the catheter in until after they knock you out. There you go, I said it. Michael, why? Isn't that uncomfortable? Because it's like, for some reason, I feel disrespected when they do, like, more, like, they don't do as much of the things to me that they can do while I'm aware and conscious as they can. If you get what I mean. So no, I would be, if someone told me, oh, we did this to you while you're sleeping, I'd be like, what? Yeah. First of all, you didn't ask me. Second of all, you could have tried to do it while I was not sleeping. That would have been better. Tanaka Sensei gives a kind smile. Then,
心配しなくてもいい。安心してね。何よそれ。よくそんなこと言えるよね。
nothing more to worry about. Oh, this is you Aki apparently now? Take it easy? What the hell? Do you just go and say that?
お母さん、誰に向かって言ってるのか分かってるの？
Mom, do you know who you're talking about? Talking to?
ユウ。
You?
マヨが今までどれほど辛い思いをしてきたのか。お母さん、考えたことあるの？
The sprites are kind of funny here because, so they're both the same height, right? And this is the problem that the game has a lot where the characters are the same height when they shouldn't be. Not really the original game, but this remake, they put the sprites at the same height, and it's weird. Like you think some characters are higher and taller than others, but they're not. But they don't reflect that. The sprites don't reflect it. But it kind of makes sense here because women don't really grow that much taller past the age of 16, right? Men tend to grow taller all the way up to the age of 21. Like, you can keep growing taller way late in there, but women not so much. So, if she's like, if you're carrying 16-year-old version of her and forever 19-year-old version of her, right, they'd probably be about the same height. But it looks like the sprites were, like, designed to depict taller and shorter people. Like, the proportions are different, right? Like, the young you is more compressed, whereas the old you is more stretched in physique, as if old you grew taller. Even though it wouldn't make, like, a lot of biological sense if she did. And so, it looks weird putting them next to each other like this at the same height, the two sprites. It's like the body proportions are not, they don't make sense. Anyway. Have you ever thought about how much Mayo has suffered?
ちょっとお母さん、一緒に来て。
Okasan, come with me, would you?
話があるの。
I need to speak with you. Okay, so now go to this perspective, you may say Harukan and Tanaka.
話があるの。
I need to speak with you. You pulls my hand and leads me to a corner of the deck.
話って何？
What is it?
言わなくても分かってるでしょ。
You should already know, right?
お母さんは2025年にレミューで働き始めた。第三視点を研究するために。
You started working in Lemu in 2025. Just study the third perspective.
本当の倉成武士とあのココっていう女の子を救うために。
No, to save the real Takeshi Kuranari and that girl named Coco. Actually, it's not a no. Both, in fact, would be required to study the third perspective to do that, and they were like goals that go with each other well. Anyway.
だったら
Then
ど
why?
うしレミューで働いてたんならもっと早くライプリヒの虜にされてたマヨを助け出すことだってできたでしょ。
If you were working at Lemu, you could have saved Mayo from Lieblic's captivity sooner, couldn't you?
もっと早くつぐみと子供たちを会わせてあげることだってできたでしょ。
You could have reunited Tsugumi with her children earlier, right?
なのにどうして？
So why didn't you?
それは
Well, and then this never gets explained. In order to save Takeshi and Coco, it was unavoidable. Why? We couldn't change the scenario which was engraved on the stone tablet that Sora had deciphered. So, the only thing you're saying is you did it that way because that's the way you did it, and so that's the way that Bleak Winkle thought it needed to be done. Bleak Winkle thought it needed to be done that way because that's the way it was done. But it was only done because that's the way Bleak Winkle thought it needed to be done. So, it doesn't actually change whether or not in reality it needed to be done. It's like, because it was a necessary factor to summon Bleak Winkle in 2034.
お母さん、何も教えてくれないのね。
Okasan, you tell me nothing.
いつもそう。自分一人で勝手に何でも決めちゃって。
You're always like this, deciding everything on your own.
でも、この一件が起きる前に説明したところで、ユウはきっと信じてくれなかったでしょ。
But even if I had explained it to you before all this happened, you wouldn't have believed me, would you? You?
だからって、騙すなんて今まで18年間、私は騙され続けてきたんだよ。
Still, deceiving me was cruel. Whoops. For 18 years, you've been doing so. Yes, that's true. Saying it was a necessary factor doesn't excuse it. It's a family matter.
嘘はつかないで。隠さないで。全部教えてほしいの。
Please, no more lies, no more secrets, tell me everything.
まだ私に言ってないことあるんでしょ。
There's still something you haven't told me, right?
本当のお父さんのこと、お母さんのこと
About my real father, about you.
聞かせて。お願いだから。
Just tell me, please. I don't hesitate. About my father Yoiki and my mother Yuki. I reveal everything to you. May 6, 2017, triggered by Coco's illness, we descend into the underwater research facility known as IBF. While Takeshi, the boy Ryogo, and Tsugumi go exploring inside the facility, I remain alone in the medical room. Okay, they're gonna actually explain this. And originally they didn't explain this, they just kind of left it implied. Coco and the researcher lying in their chambers, and it's okay to do it. It was kind of obvious what the answer was, even without them explaining it. The researcher, fighting against the virus consuming his body, with his consciousness fading, speaks to me. This voice acting is going to be really annoying.
こんなところで再会することになるとはな。
You, I never expected to meet you again in a place like this. Yes, he was my father, YT, Yoiki Tanaka. Writhing in agony inside the chamber, he starts to tell me what happened. Year 2000. My father, a member of the Remake series development project. Okay, so they're not going to voice act. They're not going to have the voice actor for Yoiki just voice act this whole thing out intermittently with a lot of. Okay. My father, a member of the Remake series development project, one day accidentally discovers that Lieblich Pharmaceuticals was researching the T-Flau virus. TB is the extremely lethal virus, and Lieblich was planning to secretly sell it to foreign military industries. Saying that TB is a virus is a weird sentence. Because there is something called TB that's real, tuberculosis, and that's bacteria. It all these spreads airborne despite just being merely bacteria. TB is extremely lethal virus, and Lieblich was planning secretly to sell it to foreign military industries. Driven by a strong sense of justice, my father insisted the company's upper management that they stop developing the virus. Of course, this was rejected. So he didn't just blow the whistle, he just went to the management. Determined, my father infiltrated the company's heavily protected database, gathered evidence, and prepared to leak it to the media. But just before he could, Lieblich caught on and detained him. He was threatened that if he escaped, his wife and his daughter would die in a traffic accident. His movements were restricted to only IBF and a section of Incel Null, essentially keeping him in semi-captivity. By then, my father had been driven by his own research ambitions, regretted coming to Leiblich. He had been forced to abandon his family. The general employees were told that he had died in a sudden accident. Leiblich Pharmaceuticals informed my mother, Yuki. Your husband went missing due to an unforeseen accident. He seems to have accidentally slipped and fallen into the sea while inspecting the construction of Lamu. We are currently searching the area thoroughly, but we have yet to find any trace of him. This is what they told her. My mother believed Leiblich's lies. It was early summer when I was just 1 year old. Time passes. In the year 2017, managing the computer systems at IBF, my father is caught in the TB leakage accident. While other researchers escape one after another, my father stays at IBF, worried about his daughter Sora. Unable to do anything for his real daughter, he risks his life to save Sora, whom he had created like his own daughter, out of guilt towards me. Which, that would really do that, but whatever. And my father, right in front of me, writhing in excruciating pain, clawing at his throat, meets a ghastly end.
娘たちを頼むぞ。
Anyway, save my daughters too, please. Hopefully he's unfinished saying that line. He looks at me and then smiles.
私は最後に
Maybe I was.
救われたのかもしれない。
Saved in the end. Was my father saved? No, he died. Anyway.
この事故を発端としてティーフブラウウイルスは世界中に蔓延し猛威を振るうことになった。
This accident caused the Tiefblau virus to spread and wreak havoc
だ
worldwide.
けどライプリヒ製薬はウイルスのことや研究所の存在自体も隠蔽し事件を完全に闇の中へと葬り去ってしまったの。
But Leiblich Pharmaceuticals concealed the existence of the virus in the research facility, completely burying the incident in darkness. Well, you wouldn't be able to conceal the virus, you just have to conceal its origin. The virus had an extremely short incubation period, killing its host before it could spread to others. Even experts couldn't grasp its true nature. The media reported it as an unknown malignant virus of unknown origin. At that time, Leiblich Pharmaceuticals discovered an antibody to the Tiefblau virus. Okay, they don't discover it. They found the antibody in my body and the boy's body. A year later, a vaccine was developed and mass-produced. So altogether, Tiefblau ran rampant for a while, but around 2019, 2 years after the accident, the damage gradually began to subside. However, this doesn't mean that the number of casualties was low. It's said that the epidemic caused by this virus claimed thousands, even tens of thousands of victims, which is not that much. And my mother Yuki was one of those victims. As far as plagues go, 10,000 or 90,000, right, isn't that much. My mother Yuki was one of those victims. 15 years ago, my mother contracted Tiefblau and passed away. My sorrow, anger, and hatred reached their peak. I swore vengeance on Leiblich. Around the same time, I infiltrated Lamu and started working to rescue Takeshi and Coco, who were left in the research facility. During that time, Sora became my brain, and Ryogo Kaburaki became my arms and legs. Every second of the past 17 years, Sora, Ryogo, and I have devoted ourselves solely to carrying out this plan. Indeed, we have lived solely for this day. To bring justice to Leiblich, who took the lives of my parents, and to rescue our companions Takeshi and Coco safely. And somehow that Leiblich still hired this person, which indicates maybe she lied about all this. I have no conflict of interest. To do so is necessary to manifest the third perspective, like Winkle. Without borrowing his power, there is nothing we could do. As residents of this dimension, we can never interfere with the past. Thus we began to carry about the plan. Towards May 1st, 2034. Finishing my story, I took a deep breath. You was biting your thumbnail, staring at a single point in the empty
ほ
void.
らその顔やっぱり信じてくれてないじゃない。
It looks like you still don't believe me. You glances at me.
まあこんな話を信じろっていう方がどうかしてるのかもしれないけどね。
Well, maybe it's crazy to ask you to believe such a
で
story.
も事実は事実だから。
But the truth is the truth. Saying that, I touch Yu's hair. Yu looks at me. Really, she's just like me 17 years ago. Reckless, tomboyish, dangerously pure, and unaware of how to hide her emotions. Such honest eyes, holding an innocence that still doesn't know corruption. Looking into those eyes, I can understand exactly what she's thinking. You isn't angry now, she isn't feeling unpleasant. She's just scared to accept the plain truth, confused about how to deal with it. So I hug you tightly. You don't need words right now, do you? I whisper such words in my heart.
お母さん、
Okasan.
お母さんの言ってることは分
I
かった。
I understand what Okasan is saying. You whisper softly in my ear.
でもね、どうしても一つだけ確かめておきたいことがあるの。
But there's one thing I need to confirm.
何？
What is it?
私はお母さんにとって
What do I mean to you, Mom? I can't help but smile as I answer.
あなたは私のすべてよ。
You are my everything. Okay, I'm going to give you Aki now.
あなたは私のすべてよ。
Mom tells me this. Well, it's like, maybe to me, well, you were the clone of myself that I made because I thought I was going to die, and I wanted to continue myself after I died somehow. So I continued my genetic information, even if that would not continue my consciousness, because for some reason I thought that would have value. And then after that, my heart condition got cured, and about the same day, like within hours of that, I saw like something written on a stone that said that now you had this new purpose. That purpose being to act as me in some sort of replication of the incident I was just in 17 years in the future. But you are my everything regardless. What I really wanted to hear was, you are my daughter, but strangely I don't feel too bad. Shouldn't be angry, or shouldn't I at least slap her? The calm, rational part of me whispers these thoughts in my head, but I just can't muster up any anger. Held tightly in my mother's embrace, I surrender myself to her, simply soaking in the nostalgic warmth. Which smells like me, but whatever. Mom. I find I can accept her as my mother. Since the beginning, since I was a child. The circumstances of my birth might not be ordinary, but that's a trivial matter. Because for us, for any family, that bond is like a miracle.
あ、ユウ、こんなとこにいたんだ。探したんだよ。
I guess, like, you know, you can act like she's your mom now, I guess after... you, so here you are. I've been looking for you. The Hokuto approaches them with just like you being hugged, but oh, there you are. It's kind of weird. Hokuto comes running up to me.
実はユウに聞いてもらいたいことがあるんだ。
Actually, there's something I want to ask you. Huh?
ほう。
Oh, I see. Well, the old you was just you, so, I mean...
何よ急に。
What's the rush?
大事な話なんだ。だから
Well,
ユウに。
Well, it's important.
なるほどね。
I get it now.
それじゃあお母さん、お邪魔のようだから退散するわね。
Well, I guess I'll leave you two alone then. I don't want to intrude. Mom waves her hand and walks away.
で、大事な話って何よ。
So, what's this important thing? For some reason, my face feels hot.
実はユウに相談したいことがあるんだ。
Actually, I have something I want to discuss with you.
相談？
Huh? Discuss with me? The boy nods deeply and then speaks.
僕、大学に入ったら考古学か量子生物学を専攻しようと思ってるんだけど。
Like, imagine if, like, at the bottom of the inscription on the stone, it was like, oh, and one more thing. When you're all done with all this, you need to set up Hokuto with you. Because I am kind of Hokuto and I want what he wants. When I go to college, I'm thinking of majoring in either archaeology or quantum biology. Hokuto.
僕大学に入ったら考古学か量子生物学を専攻しようと思ってるんだけど
Like we're getting kind of close. After Hokuto, we still have Ryogo's perspective, and we have Sora, I think. When I go to college, I'm thinking of majoring in either archaeology or quantum biology. I tell Yubise Akikana this. You stay silent. She looks somewhat taken aback.
まあいいわ。それで
Fine, go on. You looks at me with a slightly angry expression.
ああ
Well,
僕今回のことで第三視点についてもっといろいろと勉強したいと思ったんだ
what with we've been through, what's with this mean? You mean I've been through, sir? I want to study more about the third perspective.
彼ブリック・ビンケルの再現デバイスになった時彼と視点を共有してたから
When I became the Blinkwinkle reenactment device, I shared a perspective with him.
それに直に古代レムリア文明を見て古代の人たちとコミュニケーションも取れたから
And directly seeing ancient Lemurian civilization communicating with people from the ancient times. Well, I thought they were like hermaphroditic apes with eyes in the back of their heads. But you can call them people, I guess, if they're intelligent enough, perhaps.
第三視点を通して2つの学問に興味を持ったんだけどどっちの分野もほとんど何も知らないわけで
I mean, what does the word people mean? Like, we don't have really, like, any situation where we have something that's kind of a people that's not a people. Or there's a debate of whether or not they're a people. So we don't really have a good definition of what the word people is, right? We decided to define the word human by convention as anything that if it were to have sex with someone we already call a human, would be able to, and if it were, there's like this gender problem, so if it's like a man to man, it's hard to do. It says be able with the woman that could with the other man, to go through multiple steps, produce offspring that then could also reproduce and so on, right? That's what makes something a human. Again, they have to do, like, when it comes to, like, inductive things like that, you have to have, like, the first sample, right? So you have to have someone you arbitrarily define as a human in order to start this process of this definition, right? And we don't really know, we haven't really decided on who is the first step in the induction of being a human. Like, who's the base human? Some people would probably want to choose like a random man from the San peoples in Africa to do that, but whatever. But people is a different word than human, and we just kind of like, you know, kind of using kind of interchangeably, but it's supposed to be less scientific. Anyway, why are you saying that? Why am I saying all this? Well, does people, like, the way they're describing the Lemurians, the word people describes the Lemurians? They don't sound like they're humans, but are they people? It's kind of a random off-topic rant to get into, but like, you could argue about, okay, are the Neanderthals people? And my answer would be, well, I would think people would probably be a broader thing than humans, just like the way we use it, right? So, and Neanderthals are humans. Like, they can breed with humans, and then the offspring of the cross can continue to breed. Right? They're not actually a separate species. So that's why sometimes they're called Homo sapien neanderthalensis and Homo sapien sapien, right? Because they're not actually different species. Same thing with the Denisovans. They're not actually a different species as far as we can tell. And some AI thing that someone did recently showed that there could be ingress of the genome of something that might be somewhat like a Homo erectus into the Denisovan genome, meaning Homo erectus is not a separate species from Denisovans. Now, sometimes you can have a ring species-like effect where these two can breed with each other. A and B can breed with each other, B and C can breed with each other, but A and C can't. However, that's kind of unlikely and improbable, even though it does happen occasionally. And so, that suggests that Homo sapiens sapiens and Homo erectus, if they were to breed, the offspring would then be able to continue and so on. So they aren't really separate species either. So they're also humans, so if they're humans, then they must at least be people, right? But the Lemurians are apparently apes. And it doesn't really work. It doesn't work with apes. Like, if you take... Like, we don't know, we don't have any preserved nearest common ancestor of humans and chimps. That, if that were to breed with humans, we would suspect it wouldn't work well, because... It wouldn't work, probably because the chromosome count would be wrong. And that's one of the... Another... Because all the other apes have one extra chromosome compared to humans. And if you actually were to go into, like, what genes are expressed on which chromosomes, two of the chromosomes, sets of two chromosomes in the apes, they both have genes that are coded on the human chromosome 2. Okay, so everything's like 1-to-1 relative except for chromosome 2, which in the other apes is split. That might create some miscarriagey mess, right? So all the apes we really know of, really, you can't really breed with them, so I don't know. So the Lemurians are not people, at least. I mean, not humans, at least. Do they make them still people? Maybe. Depends on how you define people. Anyway. Like, this is something that, like, I have so many things that I want to, like, dig into, right? And, like, immediately, like, I have to dig into cancer treatment, because that's kind of, like, what I'm, like, working on right now, academically and stuff, right? But I also like to dig into, you know, quantum gravity, and dig into, all kinds of different stuff. But one thing that I also want to dig into is this, like, archaic anthropology. And, like, challenge all of, like, academia on this. At least maybe in my head as an exercise to myself. Maybe not in person to actually interfere with them. Because there's a lot of, like, hiccups and catches in this. And I would not be completely dissatisfied if I were to find out it's all bogus. But it would have to be kind of, like, all bogus in the sense of, like, there's a bunch of clues leading down, and you go down the clues, and you eventually find something that's impassable, and you're like, oh no, what? It's like an unexpected contradiction at the bottom of everything. But whatever.
だから差し当たって考古学のことをユウに聞いておこうと思ってさ。
So I thought I'd ask you about archaeology.
思ってさって言われてもほんと唐突よね。まあいいけどさ。
Even though it's so sudden, fine.
でも直に古代に触れた君には考古学はやめといた方がいいと思うよ。
え、どうして？
Okay, I accidentally put on auto, I hope not. Okay. But considering your experienced ancient times firsthand, I think you should reconsider archaeology. Huh? Why?
考古学って少年が思っているよりもはるかに地味な学問なのよ。
Archaeology is a much more mundane field than you think. Well, that's kind of the issue with archaeology, is studying the amount that already exists and has been done. There's a lot there, and there's a lot of conclusions you can make from it, and a lot of rumination you can have, you can, like, participate in about what it means. However, the process of continuing archaeology forward is it's very slow, and there's a lot of ethical debate about it. And so a career in archaeology, a lot of that is like working on the same thing very slowly for years and not making much progress because you're trying to preserve all of the artifacts, you're trying to document all of them, trying to make sure they end up in places where people respect them and continue to preserve them. And you have to decide whether or not to dig here or not dig here, in like hopes that maybe there'll be future technology that could dig there better. And there are people that will rage at that. Like, I don't care. I want to know the answers. Start digging. I see it on the internet a lot. But one of the examples of that is the Terracotta Warriors around the tomb of Qin. I forgot all. He has 3 names, but Qin is the only one I remember. The quote-unquote first emperor of China. They're all painted, but as soon as you dig them out and expose them to the air, which I don't know if it's the carbon dioxide, the oxygen, the nitrogen, what exactly is in the air. It's probably the oxygen, because oxygen is that annoying paramagnetic molecule that reacts with things and destroys stuff. The paint, falls off, within minutes. And they just have no paint. Right? They're trying to figure out how to preserve the paint so they can dig it before they dig up more terracotta warriors. So that we can actually see what they look like painted. I mean, you could take a picture, but they want the actual exhibit, the display, to have them painted as well. And they'd rather preserve the old paint than try to repaint an old one, try to do a recreation of the paint. Yeah. And then you have people like Zaki Hawass. He was the former Minister of Antiquities for Egypt. He's not the current one. I don't know what the opinions on the current one are. But he's still involved in digs and stuff. But he's a very obnoxious individual that people don't like, because he'll have teams of people that work for him, and you have to work for him in order to do archaeology in Egypt because he's the boss. Right? He's the government official that everything has to go through him in order for it to be done. And he'll say things like, I did this, I did that, which are things that are the ideas of these people and things that they did, right? It's he thinks because he's the Minister of Antiquities, everything that's done under his jurisdiction is stuff that he's done. And it's very disrespectful. So people don't like him. We get a lot of archaeology is the entire world, so you have to deal with the governments and the politics of all the places in the world where the archaeology is being done. And sometimes it's kind of unpleasant. And there's personalities you may not necessarily want to work with. Anyways, Ahiwas now wants to drill into the big void in the Pyramid of Khufu, because he wants to claim credit for it. He wants it done, before he retires or dies, I think. But at least hopefully they're gonna stick a camera in there, and in my generation we're actually gonna see what's in there. And most likely, what we're gonna see is something that resembles the Grand Gallery, but it's gonna have cruder masonry, because people aren't gonna go in there, right? It was a construction space. It wasn't designed to put people in there. Of course, people would argue that the people weren't designed to go into the Grand Gallery either, because people aren't supposed to go into the pyramids. And then we have YouTubers saying that no, they were supposed to go into the pyramids. And there's a period of time after the pharaoh died when Egyptians, maybe ones of high status, would actually go into the passages into the pyramids, and that was acceptable. Whatever. But anyway, no one would go into the big void wouldn't be designed for anybody to go into. It would just be a service tunnel, basically. And so it'll look sort of like the Grand Gallery, except it'll be narrower because it takes up less volume. And it will be cruder looking inside. And that's it. It'll just be this big empty space that's what it looks like. Which is going to be interesting for people who are interested about the methods by which the pyramid was constructed. To me, that's not really that interesting because I don't necessarily want to redo that. I don't want to construct another pyramid, so I don't know how much I really care about how it was built. I might go, so what? Yeah, as long as they built it somehow. Whatever. But anyway, if you're interested in that subject matter, it might be interesting because it might give you clues about how it was built. Because if you have a void that's completely structural and has no ceremonial purpose, then you could then it's if its purpose is exclusively something used to build the thing, then it's definitely going to give you clues about how it was built, right? But it's not going to give you something Zahi Hawass really would be excited about, really. But he has this thing where he goes on podcasts and he claims that we still haven't found Khufu's burial place. And there's some of the people that would agree with him. They would say, well, we don't actually know where Khufu's body eventually ended up, because it might have actually been taken out of his pyramid and put somewhere else, maybe to protect it. Perhaps when his cult was dying in popularity, they went back into the pyramid, took his body out, put it somewhere else, so if someone robbed the pyramid, they wouldn't rob his body. However, that place they put it may have also been robbed. And because it wasn't a big pyramid, we don't really know that that's what we found, was the body of Khufu. And it might have got turned into glue, turned into fertilizer, and used in Britain. So, the probability that you find it is still not really that great, even if it's not in the pyramid. Right, anyway. But it would be somewhere else in the pyramid. It would be somewhere else entirely. But he's into kind of those legends and stuff. Anyway. I just, like, randomly start talking about all kinds of random things. Because someone said archaeology. Let's talk about the late date, early date debate about when the Exodus happened. Yeah! Let's talk about Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's talk about Jericho. Let's talk about Göbekli Tepe. Talk about South American stuff. Nazca lines. Mayan ruins. Olmec peoples. Lack of archaeological support for the claims of the Book of Mormon. No. What's that place in Britain where they found those really old houses, basically? No, there was where that was in Ireland, which is part of Great Britain. Or Scotland. Somewhere in like that cluster of islands. No, I'm not talking about Stonehenge. That was not a house. That was like some sort of meeting place, probably. Archaeology is a much more mundane field than you think. Brush, 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 brush.
それに映画に出てくるような探検や冒険の世界とは全くの別物よ。
Nothing like the adventurous world you see in movies.
そうなんだけど、僕の進路の選択肢は考古学と量子生物学の2つあるみたいなんだ。
I get that, but my options seem to be archaeology or quantum biology. I'm being railroaded by my will. Quantum biology is not really a thing. I guess you could argue that something could be called quantum biology, but it's really fringe.
またまたわけわかんないこと言っちゃって。
Oh, come on, that's just nonsense.
本当はただ単に私と同じ分野に進みたかっただけなんじゃないの？
Isn't it just that you want to go into the same field as I am in?
つまり少年は私に憧れちゃっているとか。
So are you saying you admire me, boy?
うん、そうなんだ。
Yeah, I do. I responded earnestly.
ちょっとやめてよね。冗談で言ったんだから真面目に返さないでよ。恥ずかしいじゃない。
Hey, stop it. I was just joking, you know. Don't take it so seriously. How embarrassing. You were surprised by my answer.
それにどうやら僕が考古学か量子生物学を専攻することは運命的に半分決まっちゃってるようなんだ。
Also, it seems like my decision to major in either archaeology or quantum biology is somewhat predetermined.
運命的？
Predetermined? Yeah.
別の世界、別の歴史の流れの中では僕はそんな未来を歩むことになってるんだ。
In another world, in an alternate history, apparently not this history, in an alternate one, I'm destined to walk that path.
は？
Huh?
ユウにはいくら説明したって分かってもらえないと思うけど。
I don't think you'll understand no matter how much I explain.
でも僕は確かに見たんだよ。
But I've definitely seen it.
その未来では僕とユウは付き合ってて。
In that future, you and I are together. What?
だからきっとこの歴史の中でも僕とユウは運命的に付き合うことになるんだと思う。
So I believe that even in this world, we're fated to be together.
っと待ってよ少年、勝手に決めないでよ。
Hold on, boy. Don't just decide that on your own.
運命だかなんだか知らないけど、そういうことはお互いの承認と了解を得て初めて成立する関係でしょ。
Whether it's fate or not, such things should be established with mutual consent, right? Is that like a smut thing, though, when, like, the story goes, some boy shows up and says, "It's fate. There's no way to prevent it that you and I will be in this relationship."
そうだね。じゃあ今言うよ。
You're right, then I'll say it now.
今？
Now? Yeah.
優美生秋かなさん、
You may say Akihana-san.
僕と付き合ってください。
Will you go out with me?
なぜなら僕はあなたのことが大好きだから。
Because I love you. Everyone envies this guy's confidence. Because I loved her. In 2017, I was just 15 years old. That day I was waiting for a girl in Lamu. I had a psychic ability, although it's just a sharp intuition. Even so, I go there to cooperate with research on psychic abilities. Okay, so this is Ryogo's story. So, in the original game, Ryogo does not ever regain his memories of what happened before 2017 when he lost his memory in Lamu. Now, does it explicitly say that in the game? I forget. It says it in one of the drama CDs that KID wrote. How much the original authors of the original game contributed to those drama CDs is unknown. But that's what my understanding of the lore was. Like, that's what the drama CD said. But, clearly here, we're seeing that he's remembering why he came to Lamu that day. And so, he actually is regaining... In this, they decided to rewrite it such that Ryogo does regain his memories afterwards. To Dr. Yagami's lab. Okay, so he was going to meet Coco's dad. That day, I was supposed to meet Dr. Yagami for the first time and tour Lamu with his daughter. So he was waiting for Coco and her dad, basically. Okay, so he was supposed to come up to Lamu. I guess he was late. But that day, I was trapped in Lamu and lose my memory. Well, maybe he was in Lamu and he got trapped in Lamu too. We know that, I don't know where... But he knew about the researcher in the pod, though. So maybe he was in Lamu, but he was still a place that didn't get cut off from Himmel. As far as we know, Himmel and the Cosmic Whale are both in a contiguous section of Lamu. You can get from one to the other, and none of destruction cut them off from each other. So, I guess he was just in that last section. Interesting. But who else escaped in the whale besides Coco's dad? Whatever. But that day I'm trapped in Lamu and lose my memory. To be precise, I didn't lose my memory. In 2029, during the test run of the space-time vibration device, a minor accident occurred. Wow, they make it look really big. So this is a thing that you used, okay? This is between 2017 and 2034, so 2029. Caught in that accident, my consciousness in 2029 resonated with my consciousness in 2017. There was a feedback of consciousness. As a result, my consciousness in 2017 became confused and overloaded, causing me to lose my memory. Okay, so he was like using the device, like he was helped make it with you, right? The space-time vibration device. And he was using it or testing it in 2029. And then he ended up retroactively causing his memory loss in 2017 by doing that. And he didn't understand that that's going to be the thing that would cause it until later. Interesting. Okay. Whoa, okay. Causing me to lose my memory. However, fragmented memories of 2029 gave me something like premonitions. But in 2017, as a young boy facing the bizarre situation of memory loss, I was just frightened, fearing that my existence would disappear. In that time, her innocent smile was the only thing that could warm my heart. Just seeing her smile had calmed me down, and I fell in love with her. Well, this is going to get even weirder because wasn't she like 14? Is it like the TV tropes commentary on her? A 14-year-old that looked like a 10-year-old and acted like a 5-year-old. And the kid, of course, the kid was 16. Ryogo was 16. And that's not a bad age gap. That's a really small age gap. It's like a perfectly fine thing, right? Go do that romance. But then Ryogo then aged to like a 19-year-old. And then he got frozen at that age. And then Coco got preserved as a 14-year-old. Who still acts like a 10-year-old. It looks like a 10-year-old and acts like a 5-year-old. Since then, for 6 days, I watched her and my feelings grew stronger. I guess it's still not a bad age gap. It's like, it's only 4 years in the body. 5 years maybe in the body if he was 19. And, 18 years of life experience. Since then, for 6 days, I watched her and my feelings grew stronger. I thought just watching her was enough. Her, Coco Yagami. And then May 6th, the day of destiny arrives. Infected with T-Flow, I'm brought onto the rescue boat unconscious. Months later, I learned that Coco had been left behind in the research facility. Then, when Yubei-sei Harukana first tells me this, I'm shocked. Then Yu starts talking about the third perspective, the fourth dimension, the past, and the future, things I couldn't understand. 17 years from now, you will become Takeshi Kuronari, and you will have to go into Lemu again. We need to bring Brinkwinkle into our world. If we don't, we can't save Coco or Takeshi. So please, will you help us? Yu says. I have no reason to refuse. At that moment, Takeshi's words from back then came back to me.
だからここを脱出したってそれは変わらない。
At least we confirmed that he didn't lose his memory because Takeshi kicked him. So, even if we escape from here, that won't change.
つぐみ、そら、ユウにココ、そして少年。みんな俺にとって大切な仲間だ。
Tsugumi, Sora, you, Coco, and you, boy. Everyone is an important companion of mine.
だから俺たちの関係はここで終わるんじゃなく、ここから始まるんだよ。
So our relationship won't end here. This is where it starts. Because I want to see everyone's precious smiles. Because I want to see Coco smile again.
そうだな。じゃあ今度は俺がピンチの時は助けてくれるか。それで貸し借りなしだ。
Alright, next time I'm in trouble, will you help me out? No, that's just a favor for a favor. It might be I'm in pinch instead of trouble, I don't know. No.
じゃあたけしがピンチの時は僕が絶対助けるからね。
Well then, if you're in trouble, I'll definitely help you. Because I promised. 17 years pass. Every second of the past 17 years, Yubei-sei Harukana, Sora, and I have devoted ourselves solely to carrying out this plan. Indeed, we have lived solely for this day, simply because we want to see everyone's precious smiles. Because we want to see Coco smile again. Hey boy. Okay. I can hear a voice from behind me. A voice unchanged from the old days. Hey, what are you doing hiding in a place like this? Coco lightly bonks me on the head and peeks into my face. Let's go join everyone. It's no fun being alone, right? Everyone's waiting for you, boy. Coco is smiling. The smile I have waited to see for 17 years is now smiling before my eyes. Okay, I got a Sora. The smile I waited to see for 17 years is now shining before me. She's talking about Takeshi. I feel dizzy. Electronic rhythms course through my body, and the excessive voltage overloads my thought circuits. It's a pain I've experienced before.
なあ、空。
Hey, Sora. So they're gonna do that love triangle thing? I mean, this was less of a thing in the actual game in the remake, so maybe they'll make it less of a thing here, but whatever. Hey, Sora?
おい、空。
Yo, Sora.
ほら、ちゃんと聞いてるのか人の話。
Sora, are you listening to what I'm saying?
何でしたっけ？
What was that again?
何でしたっけじゃないよ。
Don't what was that again me?
声をかけてきたのはお前だろ
You're the one who called out to me, right?
そうでした。ごめんなさい。
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
それで、どうしたんだ
So, what is it?
はい。
Well,
これ食べてください。
please, I'd like you to eat this. I had Takeshi-san what I'm
なん
holding.
だこれは。
What is this? He takes it from me.
お弁当です。
It's just a bento.
おお、ちょうど小腹が空いていたところだったんだ。サンキューな。
Oh, I was just feeling a bit hungry, thanks. It's like Pandora's bento. Takeshi-san opens the box lunch.
うまそうだな。手作りみたいだけど、誰が作ったんだ
This looks delicious. Did you make it yourself?
私が早起きをして作ったんです。
Yes, I woke up early and made it.
空がそれじゃあ毒味をするか。
You, Sora. Then I guess I'll have to do a taste test.
もう意地悪なんだから。
Oh, stop being mean. Takeshi-san picked up the scrambled egg with his chopsticks and pops it in his mouth. Chomp. I watch nervously. Chew, chew, chew.
うまい
It's great.
本当ですか？
Really? Seeing his expression in those words filled me with warm emotions.
どうしたんだ
What's the matter?
泣いてるのか
Hey, are you
もう
crying?
一度こんな日が。あなたに本当のお弁当を食べてもらえる日が来るとは思わなかったから。
I never thought of a day this would come again. A day when you can eat a real box lunch of mine.
何のことだ
What are you talking about?
夢ですよ。夢。
It's just a dream.
別の世界であなたと見た夢。
A dream I had with you in the other world. I smile at him.
うん、そうか。
That's so. Takeshi-san tilts his head and then puts an octopus-shaped wiener into his mouth. Is that like you took the hot dog and you like cut it and then you like splayed out the cut? Is that what that is?
あれ
Wait,
どうしました？
what's wrong?
ちょっと待て。俺は何を食べているんだ
Wait a minute, what am I eating?
安心してください。材料は深海魚じゃなく普通のマグロですよ。
Don't worry, this isn't made from deep sea fish, it's just regular tuna.
そうじゃなくて。
That's not what I mean.
空
Sora?
はい。
Yes? Takeshi-san suddenly grabs my arm.
空お前
Sora, you... Well, I thought he would already realize this. Feeling his strong clutch and seeing him so close makes my heart race.
ミラージュじゃないのか実体があるのか
Is this coming from Mirage? Do you have a physical form? Suddenly, Yusan, who has been watching us nearby, bursts into laughter.
クラナリ面白いから黙って見てたけど。
Takeshi, I've been silently watching because it's just so funny.
あんた本当に何も知らなかったのね。
So stupid. Anyway, you really don't know anything, huh?
何をだよ
What do you mean?
空には実体が体があるってこと。
Sora has a physical body.
なんだって
What?
だからこんな風に触れるようになったんだ
So that's why I can touch you like this? As he speaks, Takeshi-san places his hand on my cheek. It feels warm. The sensation of his touch surges like waves, shaking something within me.
俺が見た感じだと今の空は人間と全く変わらないような肌の質感をしてるし
Yeah, it's like why would you program a homebreaker into your thing, into your Whatever you were making. Anyway. From what I can see, Sora now has a skin texture that's just like a human's.
仕草とか佇まいとかそういうのもすごく自然だったし、
Her gestures and posture are also very natural.
空の体は一体どんな仕組みになってるんだ？
What kind of mechanism does Sora's body have?
この時代のテクノロジーは17年前と比べてそれなりに進化しているからね。
Technology in this era has evolved quite a bit compared to 17 years ago. Well, imagine if you went from 2008 to 2025. Well, I wouldn't notice very much difference personally, but whatever. I mean, yeah, I don't think it. I mean, you go from maybe Windows XP to Windows 11. But it still looked kind of Windows-esque to me. This game would exist because this was rewritten in 2011. So yeah, there'd be a remake of Ever17 when there previously wasn't. Bionicle would have gotten discontinued twice. Anyway, technology in this era has evolved quite a bit compared to 17 years ago.
メカだろうがバイオだろうが何でもありよ。
Whether it's mechanical or biological, anything goes.
メカ？バイオ？さっぱりわからん。
Mecha? Bio? I don't get it. Yoshi-san squeezes my hand. Instinctively, I squeeze back. We're touching. I've been waiting for this moment for 17 years. Wait, they make that into a song lyric or something.
どうしたんだよ、ソラ。酒でも飲んだのか？顔が真っ赤だぞ。
What's wrong, Sora? Did you have a drink or something? Your face is all red.
そういう倉成さんの手もなんだかヌルヌルしていますね。
Speaking of which, Takeshi-san, your hand feels kind of slimy, doesn't it?
ヌルヌルする？ああ、UV ジェルだな。
Slimy? Oh, it's UV gel.
こんなの塗らなきゃいけない体になっちまうなんて、ほんとめんどくさいな。
Never thought I'd have to apply something like this to my skin. It's such a hassle.
贅沢言わないの。おかげでティーフブラウンも完治したし、17年間眠っていても組織の癒着や筋肉の衰えもなく、こうしてピンピンしていられるんだから。
Don't complain. Thanks to it, your teeth flow was completely cured, and even after 17 years of sleep, there's been zero tissue adhesion or muscle atrophy. Wait, so does that mean Coco got muscle atrophy and tissue adhesion?
まあ UV 対策もつぐみほど敏感になる必要もないんだけどね。
And you aren't as sensitive to UV lighting as Tsugumi is either. Okay, so yeah, they didn't make that a thing.
キュレイウイルスが活性した状態でなければ普通に日光に当たっていても問題はないんだけどね。
As long as the Curie virus isn't active, there's no problem with exposure to sunlight. Well, besides the regular, like,
つぐみ
human
は子
problems
供
with
時代
that.
急激なキュレイウイルスの活性を起こし、日光を浴びて塵となった少年を目撃している。
Tsugumi experienced a sudden activation of the Curie virus during her childhood, and witnessed the boy being reduced to dust after being exposed to sunlight. Well, that's new.
その光景が目に焼き付き、トラウマになったんだろうな。
That traumatic sight must have burned deep into her memory. Wait, so does that mean Tsugumi could be reduced to dust if she's exposed to sunlight? Is that really? Just psh. Maybe it's just not active in her or whatever. Hey, wait for me. Because it's been like a long time since or something. Bark, 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 bark. Just then, Pee-Pee and Coco-chan arrive. With a serious look, Dr. Tanaka conveys to Coco-chan. Doctor with a comma? Okay. That her father, Dr. Yagami, had survived the accident 17 years ago. And he left on the Cosmic Whale, I presume. And he might have gotten Teeth Blau, but Teeth Blau is a 15% survival rate or something. So, like, you can get Teeth Blau and happen to survive. Anyway, Coco-chan's father was the only survivor who managed to escape from the IBF during the accident. He escaped on the first cosmic whale and survived. Miraculously, he recovered from Teeth Blau, and was transferred to another research facility in Leiblich, thus becoming our greatest ally. But it seems Coco-chan already knows this. Coco-chan can see it. Dr. Yagami is waiting at the port, where we're about to dock. After hearing this, Coco-chan jumps up and down on the deck with joy along with Pee-Pee. And? Pee-Pee, the real me. I'm now inside Pee-Pee. Pee-Pee, my sister, and the quantum computer Ever17 are overlapping inside. Oh, so Blinkwinkle is now just inside the robots now? Okay. Pee-Pee wags her tail and runs around me, then dashes toward the sunny deck. Hey, wait. Hey, wait, Pee-Pee. Coco-chan hurriedly follows, making a clattering sound with her footsteps. The deck is filled with gentle sunlight and cheerful laughter. I suddenly look up and see the sky. The blue sky stretches as far as the eye can see. Pee-Pee, come on, you little rascal. Wait up. Coco. I'm chasing after Pee-Pee right now. I'm just chasing after her because I'm happy, because I'm having fun. So apparently Pee-Pee's a her. I don't know why I'm chasing after her, but it seems like I'm doing it because it's fun. This is the mind of Coco. Pee-Pee is running around the deck, practically bouncing. Eventually, Pee-Pee suddenly stops. She stops and barks, and starts barking wildly at the sky for some reason. Is there a bird or something, Pee-Pee? I pick Pee-Pee up. Since she won't stop barking, I follow Pee-Pee's gaze and look up at the sky. And there... Oni-chan! I feel like I caught a glimpse of my beloved big brother up there. No, not just caught a glimpse. He's visible now. Right now, at this moment, I'm looking at you. Filled with joy, I shout out. Hey everyone, come here, quickly. Come on, hey, hurry up. First to come running are Hokuto and Tsugumi. And she's not wearing the head. But somehow it does not turn to dust yet.
どうしたの?
Hokuto, what's wrong?
何かあった？
Tsugumi, something
あれあれ
happening.
見てよ、あそこ。
Look over there. I point towards you. Because this is Coco's perspective. As in, it's being told from a first person with respect to Coco. I want to tell everyone that you're here now. Tsugumi takes off her glasses and squints her eyes. Okay, so she wears glasses? Is curious or not deal with that? Maybe it's sunglasses. Hookton says that would make more sense for just sunglasses.
あ、本当だ。また来てくれたんだね。
Ah, it's true. You've come again. With a beaming smile, he jumps up and down like he's dancing. Next time comes Takepyo.
あ？なんかいるのか?
What, is something up there? When Takepyo stops. Yeah. Mayo-chan jumps on his back. Everyone eventually arrives. Oh, there's Chammy on Sara's head. Okay, I didn't notice that in the original version of the CG from the original game. Maybe it's there, I just didn't notice. Sora P, Nakyu's daughter, which is also Nakyu.
どうしたんですか、田中さん。
What's going on, Tanaka-san?
いいから早く。
Never mind, just hurry up. And then Nakyu, the boy, to
彼ね。
him.
うん。
Yeah. Did they change their facial expressions? Maybe, I don't know. But they didn't have to repaint Sagumi in this because, like, she's not wearing that outfit that she was wearing in Lemu. In no time, it turned into a bustling commotion. Hey, hey, Oni-chan, Oni-chan. Coco-chan waves her hands vigorously. With hope, with prayer.
どうかこの思いがお兄ちゃんに届きますように。
May these feelings reach you, big brother. Is that older Yuharu is wearing heels. Okay. That outfit is so sick. Yuharu's outfit. It's like that's like what my OC would be right there.
そして再びお兄ちゃんに巡り合う時が訪れますように。
And may the day come when we meet again. It's like everyone should just walk around every day just wearing lab coats. It's just like a cool way to dress. And just not be nerdy, just be like the normal thing. No. Now, I'm looking at my big brother. Now, I'm observing Coco's world. I'm looking down with my two eyes. We switched the other first person to, like, I don't know, Blinkwinkle's perspective. If the moon exists because we believe it does, well, if you were to delete the moon, well, anyway, then you'd also delete a bunch of effects it has, like tides and stuff, so I don't know, whatever, let's go with it. Then perhaps we exist because we believe in each other's existence. Now there is a world here. Here I exist observing the world. Meanwhile, another me is observing myself observing the world. How far does my existence extend? I'm watching a video of someone playing the game. I don't know the answer. But there is a few things I'm certain of. In this world I was born in this moment. So now I can see them. So now I can not now be seen by them. So now you can see us. So now someone must be watching you too. So the problem with the in-credit song of the original is that it tends to be copyright claimed by someone who doesn't own it. It gets false claimed. Let's see if this song might be different though. So it turns out that Mages is claiming this song, which is correct because they have the rights to this song. And I could just let it play, but I'm excited to talk over it anyway. So, in my final part that I recorded, which is part 66, this is coming back to this in post, right? So, I've already recorded all the way to the end of the game when I'm talking over this, because I'm waiting to record all of them before I edited it. I said that I did not look up whether the authors of the remake of Ever17 have any sort of overlap with the authors of Code 18. And the answer is no. The script is done by Saya Kiryu and Hiroshi Matsuyama. And the writer for Code 18 was one person, and it's Chabo Hiruashi. I also looked through the list of authors for Chaos Head and Steins Gate, and it's not on the list for either of those either. Now, what is the date for Code 18? It's hard to, I have to look at the Wikipedia page for this, but I have to not look at any text that's unnecessary because the Wikipedia page, by its nature, spoils everything. 2011. Okay, so it's the same, released the same year as the remake, so they're being worked on concurrently. So I guess in 2011, Mages was on an Infinity Series kick. Okay, the song is about to end, and when the song ends, I'll hand this back over to past me. The end credits for the final completion, which is the BW route, appears to be not claimed because, well, I didn't get a claim on it. So it's probably different. Okay, I didn't manage to see if there was like a coding credits. Um yeah, there were credits in there for Coco route clear, observing the summoning of Winkle. Okay. Um Programmers in there. Again, I don't recognize the authors of this. Um there was credits for 3D modeling. Well, that could be there anyway because there was 3D modeling for like the animations and the backgrounds and stuff. But I think that was probably the original credits for the Xbox version, which had the 3D sprites. So I had credits for that in there. Um, didn't think to look if there was credits, sprite redraw credits in that like ending port. Hopefully I didn't forget to put credits. Observe the BW side in the extra menu. Observed the BW side in the extra menu become unlocked. English is hard, I know. I struggle with English, as you can tell. Okay, so it's like a side story. It's not actually like the real... It's not like in the game. Okay. So this is CG's. Okay, yeah, so there's two more, which might come from the BW side, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So now we have all of these. Which might be slightly different from the original, I don't know. I haven't, like, tried to figure that out or not. And then, let's see if there's any tracks that have not been played. Yes, there is one. It's the last bit. Okay, interesting. So I can play this now. Her eyes meet mine. A momentary intersection. An eternal intersection. In that moment, I am born. I become myself. Yes, the world changes. Perspective changes. And then, everything becomes clear. April 25th, 2017. Huh? Coco glances around anxiously.
あれおかしいな。誰もいないや。
Wait, are we gonna go to Lamu now? Okay, what? That's strange, there's no one here.
ココ、どうしたんだ？
Takeshi says, Coco, what's the matter?
誰かがここのこと見ていた気がしたんだけど、誰だろう。
Well, it felt like someone was watching me, but who could it be?
ココ、それはひょっとしたらブリック・ヴィンケルかもしれないぞ。
Well, Coco, that might be Blinkwinkle.
ブリック・ビンケル？
I'm wondering how goofy this is gonna be. Blinkwinkle?
何でも見ることができる位置にいる客観的観測者だ。
Blinkwinkle is an objective observer that can see everything.
何でも見ることができる位置？
An observer that can see everything?
我々のいる三次元空間を我々の知り得ない位置から見ている視点だよ。
It's a perspective that observes our three-dimensional space from a position we can't perceive.
まあまだ証明されていない仮説だがな。
Though it's still an unproven hypothesis.
よくわかんないよ。
I don't get it. Okay, this is not canon, because how in the world does Takeshi know more about Blinkwinkle than Coco?
そうだな。ココは未来とか知らない場所のこととか見えるだろ？
Let's see, Coco. You sometimes see things from the future or from places you don't know about, right?
時々見えるよ。
Yeah, sometimes.
それはブリック・ヴィンケルが見たものなんだよ。
Those are probably things Blinkwinkle saw.
ほいじゃあ、ここ、ブリック・ビンケルさんと同じものを見てるってことだね。
So I'm seeing the same things as Blinkwinkle saw.
そうだね。そうなるね。
That might be true.
ほいじゃあ、ここにココが見えたとき、ココの顔の方を向けば、ブリック・ビンケルさんが見えるんだね。
So, when I see myself, if I turn my face towards myself, then I can see Blinkwinkle-san, right?
そうかもしれないね。
That might be the case.
ほんじゃあ、そん時試して てみようっと。
Well then, let's try it next time.
おっとそうだ、言い忘れてたけど、1週間後ココと同い年くらいの子が超能力の検査のためにここに来ることになってるんだが。
I'm an idiot. I'm this far in and just realized that this is not Takeshi Kuranari, this is Takeshi Agami. This is Coco's dad, and it was the voice acting that kept making me rethink, wait, his voice is not annoying. Okay. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, in a week a boy around your age will come here for a psychic ability test.
待ち合わせ時間にどうしても出席しなきゃならない会議が急遽入ってな。
I have an urgent meeting scheduled at the same time as the appointment. So of course you won't be there, and he'll be sitting there waiting.
私の代わりにココが迎えに行ってくれないか。
Can you go pick him up for me?
いいよ。
Of course. As the two speak, a researcher walks unsteadily towards Coco and almost bumps into her. But like, Coco isn't there. Coco ends up meeting him at the Lost Child Center or whatever, and then like she doesn't like take him where he needs to go. She just like says jokes at him. Wow. Coco dodges just before the collision.
危ないじゃねえか君。
Hey, be careful.
すみません。しばらく徹夜のもので。本当にすみません。
Oh, sorry, I've been pulling all-nighters. I'm really sorry. Bowing, the researcher hurries past. He's muttering to
あのアン
himself.
プルもダメだった。早く効果のある抗体を見つけないと。成果を出せと上からせっつかれているし。
That vial didn't work either. I need to find an effective antibody soon. They're pressuring me from above to produce results.
オレンジアンプルは多少の効果はあったんだ。もうすぐだ。もうすぐ見つかるはずだ。
The orange liquid. The orange liquid has some effect. We're almost there. We'll find it soon. Soon. May 1st, 2017. 11:17 p.m.
もうすぐだからな。しっかりしろ。
We're almost there, so just hang on. Carrying a fellow researcher on his back, a man stumbles into the medical room.
先生、こいつを助けてください。いきなり血を吐いて。
Okay. So, I don't have time to go through this, so I'm gonna have to do this later. I guess. This is just weird. Okay.